You're welcome. In the heart of Nigeria's oil-producing region, Rivers State, a power struggle has erupted between the political heavyweight, former Governor Nyesom Wike. He is currently the Minister of the FCT, still a very powerful politician, and of course his protege, the man he installed as governor, Siminalayi Fubara. It's a tale of godfathers and godsons, where allegations of overbearing control, influence, and high-stake maneuvers have thrown the state into another political chaos. The political drama in Rivers State has rattled businesses, it's rattled investors, and even the everyday citizens of that very important state as far as the economy of Rivers State of Nigeria is concerned. It's threatening to wreak havoc on governance and stability in the state. This clash of the titans. Tonight, our guest to do justice to the topic, political crisis in Rivers State, we have Chief Precious Elekima. Chief Precious Elekima is a former governorship candidate in Rivers State. It's good to have you, Chief Elekima. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I think the last time I saw you was during the 2019 governorship debate, which I anchored, and you were one of those who were on the stage, if I'm not mistaken. It's good to know that you're still following and involved in the political activities of Rivers State, and it's good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Yes. Chief, what's the root cause of this power struggle between Nyesom Wike and his political godson, Governor Fubara? What's the root cause? Are there deeper, political motivations at play than what meets the ordinary eye?
Well, thank you very much. My take is this. We need to be philosophers and statesmen to be able to govern people. The founders of America said that they will study philosophy and human nature so that their children can study mathematics, science, and architecture. There is a disconnect and there's a failure. I hold responsible this pattern of failure and this disconnect that has rather dealt negative blows to Rivers State on first, the inability of the leadership to come together. Politicians are supposed to be philosophers and statesmen. And the founders of democracy said they will study philosophy and human nature. Then their children can study science, technology, architecture, mathematics. This is what was said by the founders of America. This pattern in Rivers State is now recurrent. But it's a failure from principally two people. Rufus Ada George and Dr. Dili. These two people had failed to give leadership because all of us are either their children or their grandchildren politically. All the people involved. Maybe Sim Fubara, maybe great-grandson. Maybe Nyesom Wike, maybe grandson. But these two people have failed. These two people have failed. And the only way we can solve this problem is these two people will sit down with all those they have created and let there be total reconciliation. Unfortunately, the situation had gone bad within the last administration of Rotimi Amechi, carried out to Nyesom Wike. These two people have divided it. These two people have divided the state to such a point that it is difficult to reconcile. So let Dr. Dili come out from where he is. Let Rufus Ada George come out from where he is. let all of us sit down together to resolve this issue. It is Rivers people that are suffering. It is Rivers money that is going. Because just saying, oh, what is wrong between Fubara and Wike? Wike is so ambitious, everybody knows. So what do you expect him to do? He maybe thinks he wants to be president, and so he needs Fubara so that Fubara can sit down and make sure that he becomes president. Unfortunately, it is human nature. You know, human nature has two sides, darkness and sunshine. He saw the sunshine part of Fubara. Now he's seeing the darkness part of Fubara. But that is not...
Before we come to, sorry to interject, but I just want to go back to something you said, that Dr. Precious Elekima. And, you know, I remember how you forced your way to the one of the 2019 debates. You were not on the bill, but you walked to the organizers, BBC at the time, and said you must be put there, and they put you there. And that forced our own debate, which is the main debate, to include you. And so you are a voice in Rivers State, you know, despite the fact that you are in Maryland, United States of America. Now, you brought up an aspect of this conversation. I've spoken to lots of people about this. We've had conversations for hours on this station, different programs. You're the first person who's gone back to the history before this current political history to dig out some things. And I'm really interested in getting some more of that before we come back to the guys on board. You talked about Sir Rufus Ada George. It's quite interesting. I want you to tell me why you think both gentlemen, Rufus Ada George and Sir Dr. Peter Dili, both former governors of Rivers State, are behind. But for those who are wondering, Rufus Ada George was former governor, second governor of Rivers State in 1992 up to 1993. So, sir, why do you say these two gentlemen are responsible for what's happening now?
I think we are very, very few people who had come in from NPN to this point. We are very few in this state. So after the Okilo government, when they were coming out of jail, well, they came together, my boss, Chief Levy Brain, they organized, and Ada George was to be governor. And then Peter Dili, brother G.U.R.K., was the deputy speaker during the NPN days. So when they produced the governor, G.U.R.K. produced the deputy governor. That became Peter Dili. So we all became part of that government. Ada George as governor, Peter Dili as deputy governor, and those secondos, all of us were all part of that government. When that government got finished by the Abacha coup, then because of rumor mongering and lies, Peter Dili and Ada George, Peter Dili and Ada George parted ways. Now, Peter Dili and Ada George parted ways. So Peter Dili now had the new political structure that is on this new dispensation. As Peter Dili was leaving office, there was some crisis, and then Peter Dili and Amechi got divided. When Peter Dili and Amechi got divided, it was like that, and then there was now a political coup, of which we were the people that played a prominent role, and we brought in Wike, Wike to be governor. When Wike got in, I was very surprised to hear from Wike that he's not a political ingrate. But Wike started scheming out one after the other, until by the time it was the twilight of his administration, he had always done away with all those who were his colleagues that had been in government far before him and those who had come in to stay with him. So he now wanted to give back to a new political group that he will be the grandfather and that he will now be the owner of Rivers State. So that is why you see everybody's out. So we now have young boys and young girls he has now put together. And then he has tactically called some people elders, people like Awusa and the rest. He has retired them. And then Dr. Peter Dili is being sent on a kind of political retirement, complete retirement. And so on. Wike is now the biggest actor. And so he has to now bring a civil servant, somebody outside the political class, to be governor, forgetting that it is human nature. It is human nature. He didn't understand the science of nature. And I've gotten it all. I've driven away Austin Opara, I've driven away Precious in Elekima, I've driven everybody away. I am now the head. I have the assembly, I have the executive. Okay, he now went further. I own PDP, I own APC. So now nature, you know what they call settlement when you build a house. And when the house, after you finish all the decking started, the house will start cracking. That means settlements are taking place. So human settlement now took place. And now Wike found himself that he had got. Wike now found himself that he cannot act God. That's the problem.
All right, all right. Quite interesting. The likes of Rufus Adajoja are still on the scene, playing one role or the other. The likes of Sergeant Awuse are still on the scene.
No. Rufus Adajoja is not playing any role. Dr. Dili is too scared to talk.
But I see them around. Nyesom Wike, I see Dr. Peter Lee around. I mean, he has been the largest beneficiary, himself and his dear wife. Have been great beneficiaries of the magnanimity of Nyesom Wike from his university.
You know, if there are 10 people who are Dr. Dili's friends in Rivers, maybe I may be number 2 or number 3. But because there was a drama in his house, and he does not know why I have refused to go to his house. When we left government, or when we were in government during the NRC days, Okilo came to Lagos with other judge. And other judge refused to sit on the side the governor would sit in the staff car. So that drama ensured, and other judge sat on the passenger side, and then Okilo sat on the side as if he was the governor. One day I was in Dr. Dili's house. We were at the dining. When Wike came in, Dr. Dili got up from his seat and went and sat on the other side and offered Wike the seat. And I saw Wike went to sit on that seat. That was the last day I went to Dr. Dili's house. I said, when Dili was governor, Wike was local government chairman. If Dili offered him his seat, he was not humble enough to say, no, sir. He sat there and started eating. So I said, I'm not coming here again. I'm saying this for the first time. I've never said this to anybody. Dr. Dili does not know why I didn't come to his house, because I felt that at that point we have lost it. If Dr. Dili, who is supposed to be the head, has now left his seat, then at that point, then we are gone. So the situation we have here is that by the time Amechi finished with the disconnect with leadership, Amechi was romancing with other judge, but it was not romancing with other judge with the spirit other judge romanced with Okilo. When Peter Odilo was governor, he was not romancing with other judge. It was so bad that they had no relationship. I remember when the judge's wife died and Dr. Dili sent me to go and represent him at the funeral in California. And the judge was arguing that no, that I came on my own. I said, no, Dr. Dili asked me to come. So what I'm saying is that other judge needs to come out, Odili needs to come out. They should sing their differences. Let us unite River State. Let all of us sit together. When we sit together, we'll tell ourselves the truth. and so that that state can be stable.
All right, Chief Elekima, are you saying that the disconnect between Rufus Ada George, who was former governor, he was governor between 1993 and 1993, and his then deputy, who now became governor in 1999 on Nigeria's return to democracy, Dr. Peter Odili, you're seeing the disconnect between both gentlemen marked the beginning of the political impasse rather in River State and division. And you were saying that when Rotimi Amici came on board, he pitched his tent with Rufus Ada George and neglected Dr. Peter Odili, whilst Nyesom Wike came and then pitched his tent with Dr. Peter Odili and neglected Rufus Ada George. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they did not pitch tent with them as people who are their leaders, so they were ceremonial.
Okay.
They were using them to cover up.
But sir, you made a point, sir. You made a point that under Rotimi Amici, he recognized Dr. Rufus Ada George. Nyesom Wike has, like I said, paid enormous respect publicly, since you've told us that story, to Dr. Peter Odili. He's supported. I've been in River State. I'm also a Rivers man too, worked there for several years. He's also invested heavily in the Palmo University, which is Dr. Peter Odili's university, which you know very well. He's built an edifice for his wife, named it after his wife. That's the Justice Mary Odili, Legal Center, whatever it's called. And the children have been given a due recognition in the state scheme of things, be it in the judiciary or as commissioner. Peter Odili's daughter was made commissioner in the final days of Nyesom Wike, or I think she's currently commissioner, I need to be sure, whilst one of his daughters is a judge in the judiciary. So would it be fair to say Nyesom Wike didn't give Peter Odili his respect? That's number one. Number two, why didn't Peter Odili, if he saw anything wrong, speak out, put his foot down and say, no, I'm coming to speak up against what is happening on the Wike in River State?
Let me tell you, there are two very unhappy people. The most unhappiest people we have in River State is Dr. Odili and Rufus Ada George. All these things you have counted, he can build new cities for him. Dr. Odili is very unhappy.
I see him every day. He sits in front, beside the governor.
I know him. This is a man whose happiness is of the people. Look, Dr. Odili is not talking because he felt that he cannot control Wike. Because instead of him, he has just come out of crisis with Amici. So he will not be willing that, because he knows how Wike will go about his things. So let him keep quiet. So because we didn't know Wike very well, as all of us were fooled, including Jonathan and his wife, they were all fooled. And Wike now became governor. So when he became governor, he showed us that he's a human being. So human nature changed. So for those of us who didn't understand initially, he has to make sure that everybody was cast out. And then he now remained with those he can. And as the days were going by, he was beginning to send them out. So I don't blame Dr. Odili because he was too scared. Now we have, I'm telling you, he was too scared.
Even when we see him on TV every day with Governor Wike.
I went to his house last was the day his wife was retiring. And I made sure I would spend 5 minutes there. Because if Wike discovered that I was there would be trouble for him. So I didn't want him to have problems. So I just went and left. Because Wike has, as far as he has problem with you, everybody that is close to him must have problem with you. Is this, this kind of, I don't know whether it is either a DMA system, I don't know whether it's Peter Botta's system, I don't know what system he came with that. And the kind of division in River State is so bad that you people even you see at the airport, those in the government with him are watching their back before they say hello to you. And all these people we are calling House of Assembly, these people came out through us. They came out, look, I was burying my sister and some weeks ago, and some of them who will sleep in my house, eat in my house, they were dodging. Because if they see, if for any reason anybody sees them talking to me, they're in trouble. Is that how leadership should be? Is that how leadership should be?
Chief Professor Elekima, you said those of you who supported Wike in 2014, 2015, yes, were deceived.
Go to the secretary to go and process your paper. The palm sector and the commissioners are afraid. Because if governor knows that you came there to... So, as I've told you, let us all sit together. Wike knows that human nature has taken place. We are lucky. We have a governor who is level-headed, who is not into this their business, this their game. So since the man is the head now, we will be lucky that he will listen. Other judge will not be afraid that they can insult him. Peter will not be afraid that they can insult him. Wike himself knows that he cannot insult him. The same way Amechi knows. We are lucky that this governor will unify River State, and River State will be developed.
Okay, Chief Professor Elekima, you said that those who supported Nyesom Wike in 2014, 2015, including yourself, were deceived. And you mentioned Goodluck Jonathan and Patience Jonathan. Patience Jonathan is from River State, Okrika, local government area. We know she supported Nyesom Wike very well. Her husband, the then president, gave him federal might. He was a minister in Abuja. We know the history. But when you say they were deceived, how exactly do you mean?
You need to ask, in fact, you can be able to x-ray their hearts, how they are feeling. They are worst hit. They are worst hit in their life. When they hear his name, they don't want to go near. And it is this ungratefulness that he has shown. That was why nobody could stand for him to say, be Vice President Atiku. Everybody they were asking, they said, no way, we don't want to get involved. They said they don't want to get involved. Everybody they were asking. So that was why he found it difficult to become a vice president. Because the whole reports were so negative. Because there was nobody who can say, this one I can fight for it. Look, I can tell you, Rufus Ada George, fine man, Dr. Odili, fine man. If it was any of these two people, I'm sure they would have been vice president without an itch. Because they didn't create divisions. They did not create divisions. They were making peace. When they were in government, these people were making peace. They didn't create divisions.
Okay. Chief Elekima, because of time, I just want to ask you a very quick question. Because of time, sir. With hindsight, Chief Elekima, with hindsight, would you say that it was a mistake to have stood with Wike against Amechi, looking at the fact that there was meant to be a transition from Ikwere or upland to riverine in someone like maybe the Kukupita side? Because of the whole Jonathan is a brother and Amechi has moved over to APC, and all that.
Let me tell you what
that was where things now veered to the left.
Let me tell you what happened. Wike, sometimes somebody can be clever positively, somebody can be clever negatively. Wike was able to build the tension between Amechi and Jonathan. And then Jonathan's wife bought Wike, and to the point it came, we that were from the riverine people said, okay, we need to protect Jonathan. So Jonathan was president. Our sister was first lady. So let's protect him. If it means sacrificing that position so that we can have it. But without knowing that we are cutting our nose to spite our face. Because now the 6 governors of PDP now sympathize with Amechi and went and joined Amechi. That's how they pulled out to go and give strength to Buhari and Tinubu. And that's how APC was able to defeat Jonathan. But I tell you what, Wike quickly forgot that APC was created because of the trouble he himself and Amechi had. That is how APC was created. They were trying to find their way between Tinubu and Buhari, but until those 6 governors went and joined them, they didn't have any strength. They didn't have resources. When you have got like Kanu, Rivers, and the rest, they went and joined them.
All right.
And so when they joined them, unknown to Jonathan, that as he's supporting Wike, he has lost more than 50% of his support. But had Wike recognized this and had given these 2 people, the husband and the wife, to say, because of me, you people lost this. Let me respect you. Let me, look, you know,
right.
as far as he was concerned.
Chief Elekima, I'm so sorry. We have to call it a day at this point. But you know, you've given us a lot to chew on. Some of the history, from what do you think is the reason that River State is where it is today? I think we had never seen such a crisis in the River State House of Assembly until 2012, you know, where impeachment attempt was carried out on Governor of River State, and it's been a second time around in River State. We hope to have you again at some point, but thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but let me just make my point to say that I'm calling on Dr. Dili and Rufus George, Amechi, and Wike. Let all of us sit down to solve this problem. Let them come and sit down. Let us all sit down to solve this problem so that River State can progress.
All right.
Like I have been part of all this too. There are very few. Some just came now. So let us sit down together and solve it so that there can be peace in River State.
All right. Thank you so very kindly for your time. Chief Precious Elekima, former governorship candidate of the SDP Social Democratic Party in River State. It's a privilege having you. Our pleasure on Politics HQ.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll go for a short break. When we return, we'll talk some more about the River State political situation with former Chief Press Secretary to the former Deputy Governor of River State. Please stay with us.